Good morning. How is everybody doing? It is Tuesday morning and the birds are singing their hearts out and lots of portions of the garden are looking beautiful. So I thought right now is a good time to do a full garden tour since we're pretty much in the thick of spring. It is, what, April 25th? And the irises are looking beautiful. And Luigi's following me around this morning. Sweet little boy. But aren't these beautiful? I don't know the name of the variety. I've had these for very many years. But I purchased these from bluejayiris.com a long time ago. And they have just done so well over the years. Let me see if I can smell. Oh man, I can hardly even smell them. Yeah, oh man, that's not fun. Ever since I got COVID in October, my sense of smell has been way off. And that really is a bummer because I love the way irises smell. Ugh, makes me sad. Oops, trying to pluck off the old stuff. But isn't that a beauty? Let's see if I can get, my shadow gets in the way. But they're looking beautiful this morning. Everything is growing up. I do know this one is called Blue Cheer, and it's one of my favorites. The roses are starting to come out on the arbor. I do have some Olivia Austin roses that have opened up. Oh, and the snowball viburnum is blooming, which is nice. And I've got some foxglove opening up. Here, I'll show you some of Olivia. Isn't that beautiful? Her blooms are really big this year. Got lots of buds just starting to open. And we have some peonies that are budding up nicely. Right here's the Limelight Prime, which I'm excited to see that one bloom. I've got a bunch of Limelights, but only one Prime. I'm excited to see how it's different. Here's another peony. And there's a little bobo right there. The bobos have been really slow to leaf out. And as you can see, there's a ton of mint in this bed that needs to be cleaned out. The cats are playing this morning. Over here, I've got my beast of a summer romance. It has just gotten huge, y'all. I mean, absolutely massive. Look at it. I mean, it has to be like 10 or 12 feet, I would think. And that my garden bed is completely lopsided. There's like a ton Look at all these blossoms that are just about ready to open up. Our trees are shedding all of their fronds. Yeah, but very soon it'll be covered in blooms. This one right here is, why can't I think of it? So there's Summer Romance here. Here is a different rose that I can't think of at the moment. And then this one is Cinderella Fairy Tale over here. I kind of crammed them all together in the corner. And now this rose has gone wild and crazy. But then this side is not nearly as full. Completely lopsided garden bed, somewhat outside of my control, because all these roses in here, except for this one, this one's actually new. I planted this one last year, hoping it'll balance out that beast over there. But these roses were all own root from a nursery in Texas. And then this is another Summer Romance from Palatine. I'm hoping that it'll catch up with that one over there and hopefully balance out this garden bed, because right now this side has really, I had a lot of diseased roses on this side. And in fact, you can see, look at that cane. It's really bad. So I'm probably gonna need to dig up this rose as well as that rose back there. That one has mosaic virus. And that one's James Galway. This one is, I think it's Jude the Obscure. So I'm gonna have to dig those up. And I just planted this one. This one's from Palatine. It's doing well, but I'm hoping, since it's from the same nursery, Palatine, that hopefully it'll get just as big as that side. And like I said before, balance everything out. But then I had put a rose here and it died. It was a Palatine rose. And it just didn't make it, unfortunately. I was really bummed out about that. So, since I'm gonna have to dig this one out, I'm gonna have to find something to put in this spot. But I figured there are some blooms on that rose, so I'm gonna let them bloom out and then I'll dig it up, because I would like to see the blooms. I mean, there's a lot on there, but you can just tell that it's just not doing so hot. So, but I'm gonna let it do its thing and then dig it out. I might put another rose here, or I might just pop in another hydrangea paniculata, because I've been on a hydrangea kick, right? So, but everything's looking really beautiful. Here's another Summer Romance. With lots of lilies. And my husband just mulched in here, so that's all nice and fresh. But yeah, I mean, look at that beast. Oh. So hopefully this Summer Romance and that Summer Romance over there will grow up to be nice and big as well, and this bed won't look so wonky with all the craziness. This rose right here is Alchemist, which is doing pretty well. We did have a late freeze, and so there's a lot of stuff that got nipped by the frost, unfortunately. But it seemed to recover well. Over here I've got a lot of new plantings. That is a Quickfire Fab hydrangea paniculata, just starting to leaf out. It's been really slow to get started, but I know they can be that way sometimes. There is a, I can't think right now, y'all. It's too early in the morning. Butterfly bush. There we go. And here's another rose from Palatine. I believe this one's called American Beauty. It's leafing out really beautifully, doing really well. And it's already got some buds on it, so that's exciting. We have some phlox here, some salvia, more roses. This is Bliss Parfuma. So I have 3 here to make a nice little hedge of that. And I've got another 3 Quickfire Fabs back in here to fill in that area. Everything is looking so fresh and beautiful. I love spring. Oh, and here's 3 Bobos. See what I mean? They take a little bit longer to leaf out. But they're coming, they're coming. They just need to get themselves established. But I love this time of year when everything is just fresh and green. Japanese maple is looking gorgeous. Emperor 1. And we got some daylilies here. I believe these are called Barbara Mitchell, but of course those don't bloom till June. My most favorite addition to the garden is this little bird feeder. Let me show you the front bed while it's looking good. I've got all my tomatoes in pots this year, hoping I'll get a better yield that way. But here, look, I've got some petunias that came back from last year. These actually overwintered in my garden. But I got some beautiful salvia here, and behind it, actually some more salvia. I think it's called Black and Blue. It actually overwintered as well, and look how big it's gotten. And then here's some Eustacia Vi roses that I planted this spring. Those 2 are doing well. This one's a little further behind. Hey, kitty. Hi. Hi, baby. And then all my tomatoes are covered in blossoms. Super excited about that. I actually started these from seed in December. I was like super impatient, wanting to get started, obviously. And so you can see, if you start tomatoes in December, you can have these huge tomatoes in April. What you looking at, kitty? Are you ready to chase some bees? Huh? Some more salvia. The limelight hydrangeas have leafed out nicely. Here's a Crimson Queen Japanese maple that we planted, like, I think in 2016 is when we planted this. So it's been here a good while. Looking beautiful this year. It's doing really well this year. In previous years, the foliage would burn. I don't know if it was from, heat, just the spring being really hot, but this year it's doing fabulous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now over here is kind of like our work area, so it doesn't look the most beautiful. But I did want to talk to you guys about this area here. See how so in here I've got some gardenias that I planted, and they're doing terribly. I mean, absolutely horrible. And I mean, the whole point of putting the hedge here was to create a screen, which obviously has completely failed, just to try and give us a little bit more privacy, since unfortunately the way they built out these houses, they put our neighbors' driveways on each side of us, which was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is, right? Can't change that. So I'm thinking about getting, what is it called? I forget what I was going to call it. Y'all just bear with me this morning. I'm like losing my words. I was gonna get a shrub that grows nice and tall and thick, stays green all year round, and I can't remember the name of it, but I'm hoping to do that next month and get that started, because we've been here like 7 years and I've literally been trying, you know, there's just weird spots in the garden that you really have a hard time growing things. For some reason, this is one of them. So hopefully I can get it figured out. I guess it's always been because I wanted to always grow something with flowers on it here. And I guess I just need to not worry about it having flowers and just put an evergreen hedge. Not everything has to have flowers on it, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a bit messy back here. I haven't had time to blow off the deck or anything like that. All the tree fronds are falling right now because they've pretty much are done leafing out. As you can see, everything is bright and green. Oh, I love it. So excuse the mess. It is a little messy back here, and we have to rearrange our furniture. All of my citrus trees are doing pretty great. I need to repot them. The soil has completely sunk down in there for some reason. I don't know why, but I gotta fix that. But I have to relocate these because, as you can see, you can't see my beautiful hydrangeas back here, which are all the way down the line. So to me, it's looking just like a little too cluttered, a little too messy. So I need to work on that. What is it? What is it? Hi, good morning. Hi, how are you? The cats love to come on my garden tours. They just absolutely love it. But here we have the Edgeworthia leafing out nicely. And as you can see, I've been working on cleaning out this bed. We had that late cold snap, which completely defoliated my gardenias here. So I cleaned out the beds and they're still alive. I've got some new growth coming through, so we're just gonna see how they do. I really don't wanna have to replace those. But I also need to take these up and put something else there because they're looking a little bit ratty. But the rose on the pergola is filling in really nicely. And I put all of my geraniums up. And I've got some annuals done. Excuse me, y'all. Ooh. That's inevitable here in the South with all this pollen. I thought this was a really pretty combination. So this is Supertunia Bordeaux and Limoncello. And I love the purple and yellow together. Can't wait to see that fill out. It's gonna be really beautiful. There's the fountain area, which needs to be cleaned out desperately. But Zaid is starting to develop some buds. Look at this rose. Isn't that exciting? But man, I gotta watch out for those thorns. Woo. Gotta clean all these out. Look at all these pretty pansies and violas. Oh, I just love them. I actually grew these from seed. I got them from Baker Creek Seed. And I started them, I think it was probably about December when I started the tomatoes. Look at all the beautiful colors. Aren't they just fantastic? Look at this one. Isn't that amazing? Pansies always remind me of Alice in Wonderland. Here we have some azaleas that are just looking glorious, and all the hostas are growing up. And I've got some newly planted things over here. I've got some Veronica, and this is Hakonakloa, Japanese forest grass right there. Got some more phlox, and then a whole bunch of daylilies that I planted all right in here. Isn't that pretty? And another peony. Isn't that pretty? Yes, baby. Yeah. You sweet boy. This tree is doing beautifully. What is this called again? A gold drift Norway spruce. My Empress Wu hostas are doing great. I do need to move some guacamole hostas that I accidentally planted a little too close to it. This one is, for some reason, a lot smaller. I'm not sure why, but gotta stay on top of watering those this year. But here's this garden bed. This looks like a whole lot different than it did last year. I planted a whole lot more stuff in here this fall and winter. As you can see, the late frost did a lot of damage, but there's plenty of stuff that has done very well too. I just love those blooms. Aren't those beautiful? Everything is looking pretty good. One of these days I'll get to work on this area, but for now it's just gonna stay with it, you know, stay this way as long as the trampoline is there. Unless I can convince my husband to move it back there, but then that would mean we'd have to limb up a lot of dead wood that's in these trees, because I do not feel comfortable with the kids playing under a bunch of dead branches. Look at this beautiful new hedge. These are all of my new incredible hydrangeas. Then I've got another little group over here. And then look at this beautiful viburnum. All right, this is the area that's a little bit weedy, but I'm working on it. It's just taking some time. Peaches, are you hiding? Are you hiding, Peaches? Yeah? It's very peaceful back here. I love listening to the birds. I believe this weeping Japanese maple is called Germain's Gyration, if I remember right. Just doing beautiful here. All the hostas are filling in nicely. Just gotta come in here and pick up the weeds. And the hydrangeas are doing great. I haven't had any issues with them wilting at all, which is almost a miracle, but I have been out here watering, so that's probably why. I've been staying on top of the watering this year. I gotta come up here and tie back that willow. But aren't these Merit Supreme blooms just gorgeous? Oh, I love it. I'm so glad I got these. I was worried that I would have trouble keeping these from wilting, but they've done great. I mean, look at how massive that bloom is. It's gorgeous. Love it. Oh, and these are snapdragons, by the way. Finally figured that out after I thought about it for a minute. I was like, I know what these are. I just can't remember the name. My little fern forest is doing well. And then back here, right here, I've also got some Canterbury bells that are about to bloom, which is exciting. But yeah, the larkspur has just taken off in here. I'm excited for that to bloom. It's going to be very pretty. Brunner is looking nice. Fairy garden is looking good. I just need to come through and weed a bit. And there's a lot to do in the vegetable garden area. I have been diligently working on weeding out the beds to make room for all of my dahlias. My dahlias from Eden Brothers arrived yesterday, a whole big box full. So as you can see, the ones I got from Swan Island have come up nicely. Looks like a few of them didn't make it. Looks like most of them did, except for maybe 2 or 3, which maybe they're just slow to come up. But I planted these 2 beds pretty early. And now I've got to clean out this bed, which I'm hoping those carrots are ready. But I've got to clean it out to make room for all the dahlias. I cleaned this one out yesterday in the dead of the heat. Oh my goodness, it was so hot. Whew. And then I really need to clean out that side too. But I'm leaving the garlic because I do want a garlic harvest this year, and I'm hoping that I can get all of these dahlias in this big bed and in this bed. I hope. I should be able to. But yeah, this is my garlic doing well. I really probably need to come in and fertilize it because I'd like to make it as big as possible. And here I had put some green beans. Looks like a couple of them survived. They all got zapped by the cold, the frost that came through. So I'll probably need to reseed those. And then I've got some little basil seedlings in here. Looks like they need to be watered. It looks very dry. And then there's some roses and some pots over here as well. This one's called Quietness. Looks like it's just starting to come out. And then I did plant another summer romance right there just a couple months ago. So hopefully that'll fill in this space nicely. And as you can see, my Kiri Takanawa clematis is starting to open up nicely. A lot of blooms on that. Lots of growth on the roses and the peonies. Look at this. I'm really excited about that. The peonies are doing great this year, and it's probably because we had a pretty cold winter. Look at all these Kiri Takanawa blooms. They look a little misshapen this year, and that's probably because of the late freeze that we had. Here's Bartella, intersectional peony. Looking beautiful. Lots and lots of peony blooms all the way down. The limelights are leafing out right here. I put a whole new hedge of limelights in. This one's doing pretty great. But they're just a little bit slower. It is, you know, the first year in the ground, so I just gotta be patient. But look at all these peony buds. Isn't that fantastic? The cats are going crazy with each other. Goodness. Gosh. Look at how big that peony bloom is. That's gonna be a pretty one. Oh my goodness, kitties. Look at this one. Oh, it's so pretty. I love that green and pink mixed together. So beautiful. The roses up here are going absolutely crazy. I think it's time that I finally prune them. This one on the end is a summer romance, and it's going nuts. Like, you can't even walk up the stairs right now. So I've got to like tie some back, and after they bloom, I'm gonna prune it back a good bit. It looks a bit messy right now. Probably should definitely come in and do some pruning. So in here, we've got some new raised beds that are doing very well. I grew these peppers. These are sweet banana peppers, and I grew those from seed. And then I've got some cucumber seeds in here. And then I actually popped in some pole green beans as well. Those haven't come up yet though. But yeah, I've got cucumbers all along the edge here so they can climb up the trellis. And then I've got mushroom basket tomatoes, Quatre Saison lettuce, geranium kiss tomato, which is this one, purple rain. This one is orange accordion. And then we got some more sweet peppers. And then these tomatoes are Costaluto Genovese. And all of these tomato plants, I got seeds from Baker Creek. So yeah, excited about those growing up, and hopefully I'll cover the trellis. I'm hoping to have a lot of cucumbers this year because I love cucumbers and green beans. Here's my little strawberry bed. It's doing really well. Lots of beautiful flowers. I love the dark red flowers. I'm so used to white. It's nice to see something a little different. All right, so this little pathway here hasn't been finished quite yet. We still have a lot of mulching to do, honestly. Lots to do. These are my Annabelle hydrangeas, which unfortunately I planted too far apart, so they don't make a hedge like I was hoping they would. So I filled in with some hostas and ferns and things like that. And then over here I've got some roses and some more ferns and hostas and Annabelle hydrangeas. These are a little bit smaller on this side, but they were planted at the same time, so I'm not sure why these have grown larger, but that's just the name of the game. And then I planted a Shirley, I think this is a Shirley Temple peony. That's newly planted just about a month or so ago. And also this is my moon rock hydrangea that I just recently planted, and that one's doing fabulous. It's really leafing out nicely. Lots of new growth. Whoops. Looks like we got a broken piece there. And then back here are some blueberries, which most of my blueberries did pretty terrible this year. Again, the late frost killed all the blooms because they were in full bloom when temperatures like in the 20s came in. Super bummed, but again, that's Mother Nature. But look how big this is. Isn't that beautiful? Things are looking a lot cleaner this year. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't go back here to show you how the hydrangeas are doing. These hydrangeas are having a little bit more of a slow time leafing out, but that's pretty typical. They tend to do that in this corner of the garden for some reason. The oak leaves are looking great though. Look at that. This oak leaf has gotten huge. But yeah, again, I know why. Because of the late frost. Everything was starting to bud out and it got damaged. And that's why it's taking a little bit longer. But they'll recover. They usually always do. But this is just another nice little corner of the garden. And we added a couple of camellias back in here. I put that white swan or Swan Lake camellia right there. And this is a Mohawk viburnum. And then I forget what kind of camellia that is. I don't remember the name of it. And then of course I can't remember the name of this Japanese maple either. But it's a pretty one. It gets a really pretty color in fall. What are you doing, kitty? He's so funny. He'll just go around talking to himself. Okay, let's go to the side yard and I can show you that. I was able to get that big white wedding hydrangea in the ground yesterday all by myself. the big hole I had to dig, I mean, there was at least like 15 rocks in it. It's pretty crazy. Still have to do these. Haven't gone there yet. I think I'll let Scott dig those up for me. But everything's looking nice back in here. We still have some weeding to do along the property line. And we still have to put mulch down. But I'm loving all the new hydrangeas in here. I think it's gonna help fill it out nicely. And then here, I did a whole bunch of weeding yesterday around this area here. And there's the new hydrangea right there. I think it looks great. Now I just got to get this area mulched and it'll look a lot more finished. So there we go, guys. And here's some more buds. Once all these are blooming beautifully, I'll most definitely do another video. But yeah, that's about it for right now. Not much else happening. Things are just getting started, so there's gonna be a lot of pretty things to look at very soon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the spring tour, and I will probably post another video within the next couple of weeks once these roses start blooming. Hopefully that'll be pretty soon. And at the end of this video, I will put some pictures of things that have bloomed over the past few weeks that, you know, I wasn't able to take a video of, but I still want you to see some things that have been blooming in the garden. So hope you'll have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.